LeBron James is always in tune with the moment, whether he's achieving a triple-double on the basketball court or making a surprising statement on social media. On June 2, 2025, he demonstrated this once again by sharing a snippet of unreleased Kendrick Lamar lyrics from a GQ preview of the Clips' comeback single, Chains and Whips. Through a single Instagram story, LeBron highlighted Kendrick's raw intensity, reignited an ongoing industry debate, and reminded everyone how the lines between sports and music can blur dramatically. Welcome to celebrity rap life, where the red carpets never roll up and the spotlight never fades. The rewards are legendary. Because in celebrity rap life, every downfall can become a comeback, and every headline tells a deeper story. Hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss a second of what's coming next. The lyric he shared was straightforward yet impactful. Therapy showed me how to open up. It also showed me I don't give a f. When Kendrick Lamar, known for his deep self-examination, delivers a line like this, it strikes a chord. For Kendrick, therapy symbolizes growth and vulnerability, and acknowledging that journey often involves revealing hidden struggles. However, right after emphasizing the importance of emotional work, he turns the narrative by refusing to soften his stance. It's a bold statement of self-confidence. You can heal without allowing that healing to lead to self-censorship. By reposting that line, LeBron wasn't just celebrating a memorable lyric, he was supporting Kendrick's stance against compromise. This action gained even more significance given the context of Chains and Whips. The song, which is part of Clips' first album since 2009, Let God Sort 'Em Out, became a focal point in the duo's split from Def Jam Records. Pusha T revealed that the label wanted Kendrick's verse altered or removed due to his well-known conflicts with Drake, another UMG artist. Pusha refused, and soon after, Def Jam allegedly threatened to drop Clips entirely. By sharing the lyric that sparked this controversy, LeBron highlighted the central conflict: art versus commerce, and truth versus politics. To understand the significance of this moment, it's important to look back a bit. Clips, consisting of brothers Pusha T and No Malice, gained fame in the early 2000s under Pharrell Williams' Star Trak label. Their stark and honest depictions of street life, paired with Pharrell's minimalist production, earned them critical acclaim and a loyal underground following. However, after their split in 2010, when No Malice chose to focus on his faith and Pusha embarked on a successful solo career, hopes for a third Clips album became legendary. Over the years, rumors and near leaks kept fans eagerly anticipating their return. When Pusha finally announced that Clips would reunite for Let God Sort 'Em Out, it felt monumental. This wasn't just a reunion of two influential MCs, it was a chance to see two brothers, each changed by time, come together to make a statement on their own terms. That statement clashed with the realities faced by contemporary record labels. By the 2020s, Def Jam, once the most esteemed label in hip-hop history, had experienced multiple changes in ownership and leadership. Nevertheless, its influence remained significant, perhaps too significant to escape the internal politics involving Drake and Universal Music Group, UMG. UMG, the parent company, was grappling with a wave of controversies in the spring of 2025, particularly due to Drake's defamation lawsuit. Drake accused UMG of engaging in dubious streaming practices to artificially boost the numbers for Kendrick's track, Not Like Us. While UMG denied any wrongdoing and sought to have the case dismissed, the lawsuit highlighted the tensions between the upper echelons of the music industry and the creative freedom of artists. In such an environment, any collaboration with Kendrick could reignite past rivalries or lead to legal complications. However, Pusha T's insistence on keeping Kendrick's verse was not merely a matter of pride, it was a declaration for artistic freedom, a sentiment that LeBron's repost amplified. Imagine being a major label executive. You see a new Clips album ready to end a decade-long hiatus. The lead single features Kendrick Lamar, one of the most dynamic and unpredictable voices in rap. On paper, that combination is golden. But what if Kendrick's verse includes lines that boldly critique the industry's double standards? What if those lines directly confront a fellow label artist like Drake, who reportedly felt slighted by Kendrick's earlier jabs? For the leadership at Def Jam, the potential collateral damage to other artists and corporate relationships was too great. Their solution was to either remove Kendrick's verse or scrap the song entirely. But for Pusha T, that was not an option. He refused to impose censorship indirectly. Kendrick's contribution had to remain, or the album wouldn't be released on that label. Consequently, this situation evolved into a battle for narrative control. one that LeBron's simple repost brought back into focus. When the GQ excerpt was published, hip-hop communities exploded. Fans eagerly shared each unveiled line, analyzing the lyrics for deeper meanings. Hip-hop Twitter was ablaze with debates, with some arguing that any feature from Kendrick should remain untouched, while others worried that the controversy might overshadow Clips's artistic identity. Then LeBron added his voice. His repost was not just an endorsement from an artist, it was a statement from an athlete. It conveyed that this lyric transcends the internal conflicts of rap. It speaks to principles that anyone, regardless of their field, can appreciate. Aesthetically, the lyric, merging personal growth, therapy, with unapologetic defiance, not caring what others think, mirrored the journey of many champions, including athletes. You put in the effort to heal and grow, but once you've evolved, you refuse to let anyone dictate how you express your truth. For someone who has built his career on balancing physical prowess with mental strength, that message resonated profoundly. LeBron's connection to hip-hop has been extensively documented over the years. His early playlists featured iconic albums from artists like Jay-Z, Nas, and Lil Wayne. He often invited musicians to his all-star parties. In 2024, he surprised everyone by making an unexpected appearance at Kendrick Lamar's pop-out show in Los Angeles, where they shared a warm embrace on stage, leading to speculation about a possible collaboration. While this moment seemed like a fan interaction, it also highlighted Kendrick's status as a fellow cultural leader. However, this appearance appeared to create tension between LeBron and Drake, especially since their rivalry with Kendrick had intensified after Drake leaked some of Kendrick's demo references during a diss track exchange in January 2025. The conflict between Kendrick and Drake was well known. When LeBron shared Kendrick's lyrics, some interpreted it as a slight towards Drake, reinforcing LeBron's allegiance to Kendrick's side. This dynamic among sports, music, and personal loyalties created a volatile situation. Following LeBron's post, fans eagerly speculated about what might happen next. Would Drake retaliate on social media? Would he return to the mic? A leaked freestyle titled "Fighting Irish," produced by conductor Williams and containing both direct and subtle references to LeBron, had already been removed from YouTube, but fans believed another response was on the way. Meanwhile, Roc Nation, the new label for Clips, was closely monitoring the unfolding drama, viewing it as free publicity. Jay-Z's label seized the opportunity to position themselves as champions of creativity. Insiders disclosed that Roc Nation was organizing listening parties in major cities, including a private event in Miami timed with the NBA Finals, featuring athletes, influencers, and tastemakers. The goal was to present the unfiltered album to key figures in entertainment, ensuring that no label executive could impose Bowie-like edits on the final version. The song, Chains and Whips, held significant importance. Its debut at Pharrell Williams' Louis Vuitton fashion show months prior had already created a buzz in both the fashion and music industries. Pharrell support signaled that this track, along with the album it belonged to, aimed to blend street authenticity with high art credibility. Now, with Kendrick's powerful verse surrounded by rumors of censorship, Chains and Whips took on an almost legendary status. The lyrics, known for their intensity, addressing systemic hypocrisy, personal sacrifice, and unwavering self-confidence, felt even more impactful. When Pusha T and No Malice finally entered the studio with Kendrick for their track, they were not merely featuring a guest verse, they were making a statement about the hip-hop landscape in 2025. LeBron's repost served as a reminder that the implications extended beyond the music industry. As news circulated, sports talk shows began to weigh in. ESPN's panel, typically focused on gameplays and statistics, dedicated a segment to LeBron's story. Analysts debated whether this was a deliberate jab at Drake and whether it indicated deeper tensions between athletes and rappers. Former NBA players like Dwayne Wade and Chris Paul expressed their thoughts on social media. Wade called Kendrick's lyrics as powerful as any last-second shot, while Paul simply shared a raised fist emoji to show support. Even Stephen A. Smith, known for his dramatic commentary, offered a thoughtful perspective. LeBron's influence is so significant that when he supports you, the world takes notice. This transcends rap conflicts. It's about intellectual freedom. The crossover effect was clear. Sports analysts, cultural commentators, and fans from both sides recognized that this moment highlighted the close relationship between basketball and hip-hop over the last 30 years. In hip-hop journalism, writers trace the evolution of rap from its roots as an underground voice of dissent to its current position as the most lucrative music genre. They contended that regardless of chart success or polished production, the essence of rap remained authentic self-expression. Whenever executives attempted to sanitize or dilute that expression, the backlash could be severe. Pusha T's decision to keep his verse unfiltered wasn't just stubbornness, it was a reaffirmation of rap's core principle, raw truth. By reposting Kendrick's line, LeBron implicitly aligned himself with that principle. In an era where algorithms favor sanitized and non-offensive content, any act of defiance against those trends becomes major news. Additionally, fans pointed out that LeBron's relationship with Drake was already strained. In the early 2020s, there were rumors of a collaboration between the two, and social media suggested a close friendship. However, after Drake's leaked diss track targeting LeBron in January 2025 and its subsequent removal from YouTube, the relationship changed. Reposting Kendrick's lyric could be interpreted as a public reaffirmation of rap's uncompromising spirit, something that Drake sometimes struggles to maintain alongside his global pop aspirations. For fans who viewed Drake as a savvy businessman and Kendrick as a true artist, LeBron's support felt emblematic of a wider cultural divide. Behind the scenes, CHOSES' team quietly celebrated the increase in pre-orders and streaming interest. They observed GQ's website traffic spike, with readers eager to learn every detail about the album's production. They also noticed Reddit discussions exploding from 200 comments to 4,000 overnight. Bloggers noted that Chains and Whips quickly climbed to the top of Shazam's trending chart shortly after LeBron shared it. In many ways, the controversy surrounding the song boosted CHOSES' comeback more effectively than any conventional marketing strategy could have. As Pusha T later mentioned to a friend, it's ironic how trying to suppress a verse can actually make it more popular. However, not everyone viewed LeBron's action positively. Some critics raised concerns about whether an athlete sharing music lyrics blurred the lines of influence in troubling ways. Was it fair for one of the most influential figures in sports to endorse certain artists over others? Could LeBron's endorsement pressure record labels or shape culture in ways that were unwarranted? While these concerns were legitimate, they ultimately highlighted LeBron's significant cultural influence. In a time when micro-influencers can spark trends, LeBron stands out as a major influencer. When he shares something, it resonates with millions, accelerating discussions that might otherwise take longer to spread through smaller channels. As summer progressed, excitement for Let God Sort 'Em Out reached its peak. Clips released Ace Trumpets on May 30th, a compelling lead single that showcased No Malice's renewed spiritual outlook alongside Pusha T's sharp lyricism. Fans praised the track, but everyone was still eagerly awaiting Chains and Whips, the standout song anticipated to challenge listeners both musically and intellectually. When the album was finally released on July 11th, reviews indicated that Kendrick's verse validated all the hype. Critics celebrated the trio's collaboration, Pusha's incisive metaphors, No Malice's thoughtful insights, and Kendrick's dynamic energy combined to create a moment that felt bigger than the summer of 2025 itself. Listeners across various platforms declared it an instant classic, placing it alongside other significant releases of the year. In the wider cultural discussion, LeBron's repost remained a pivotal moment. Documentaries in progress, one by HBO exploring the intersection of sports and hip-hop, interviewed LeBron about his motivations. He explained that when he first encountered that lyric in GQ, he identified with it, someone who values mental health and therapy but refuses to let personal growth silence his voice. He also acknowledged that the drama surrounding CHOSES' label issues reflected struggles he had faced in sports, where players often feel pressured to tone down their statements for branding or corporate reasons. By reposting Kendrick, LeBron felt he was acknowledging anyone, whether athlete, artist, or fan, who had ever been told to tone it down. Drake eventually made a vague remark acknowledging the success of CHOSES' album, but avoided directly addressing LeBron's involvement. In a late-night interview, he stated that true artistry goes beyond social media theatrics. While some viewed this as a diplomatic sidestep, others saw it as an unspoken admission that LeBron's repost had made a significant impact. Regardless, the tension faded into the broader narrative of hip-hop history in 2025, where the collaboration between Kendrick and Pusha T emerged as a monumental achievement. Months later, cultural commentators positioned this incident within a long-standing tradition of athletes and musicians influencing each other's legacies. From Tupac attending Michael Jordan's birthday party in the 90s to Jay-Z consulting with MMA fighters like Floyd Mayweather, the intersection of sports and music has consistently generated powerful cultural connections. However, LeBron's repost felt distinct because it wasn't a call for collaboration on a song or a charity event. It was a bold celebration of raw honesty, captured in a fleeting 24-hour Instagram story. This ephemeral quality made it seem less curated and more spontaneous, like a flash of lightning that briefly illuminates everything before disappearing, leaving behind ripples. Ultimately, LeBron's endorsement served as a reminder of a fundamental truth: art is important. In a time when artists often struggle to balance expression with commercial appeal, witnessing an athlete of LeBron's caliber uplift unfiltered lyricism felt like a wake-up call. It indicated that some voices deserve support, regardless of how uncomfortable their messages may be. For Clips, Kendrick, and fans who appreciate rap's rebellious spirit, it was a moment when someone in mainstream culture reaffirmed that authenticity is more valuable than convenience. By the time the Lakers season began again in October 2025, the story of LeBron's repost had already entered the lore of NBA locker rooms. Teammates joked that if someone needed a morale boost, they should play Chains and Whips and read Kendrick's verse. Coaches used the lyric as a teaching tool, demonstrating how mental health efforts can coexist with unwavering confidence. When younger players inquired about how LeBron managed fame, performance, and personal growth, he would quote Kendrick's line, "Therapy opens you up, but you can still stand your ground." This became a guiding principle for a new generation of athletes and creators facing their own struggles between vulnerability and resilience. Looking back, the June 2nd story was not just a minor event in hip-hop history. It marked a significant moment where sports, music, and social media came together to create something powerful. It demonstrated how a simple act of sharing a lyric could reignite a long-standing discussion about freedom, power, and the price of truth. This event highlighted that in 2025, cultural influence isn't limited to a specific field. Whether you're excelling in sports or music, your words carry weight. LeBron James illustrated this influence by turning a line from Kendrick Lamar's Chains and Whips into a cultural phenomenon that energized social media, radio, and streaming platforms for months. As fans continue to reflect on Let God Sort 'Em Out and discuss their favorite tracks, the story behind that one lyric will remain significant. It will be remembered alongside iconic instances when music transcended mere sound and became a form of resistance. And somewhere, LeBron will recognize his role in this, nodding to himself, aware of his contribution. Because sometimes, altering the trajectory of culture doesn't necessitate a lengthy speech. It can be as simple as 5 words on a screen. Therapy showed me how to open up. It also showed me I don't give a fuck. This story is far from over, and the truth is still unfolding. I want to hear what you think. Drop your take in the comments. And if you don't want to miss the next twist, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss a second of what's coming next.